Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq, with daily insight on the Nasdaq-100 Index, or the NDX, which is made up of 100 of the largest domestic and international non-financial innovative companies listed right here on the Nasdaq stock market. The NDX has been the barometer for U.S. large cap growth and also one of the best performing indexes over the last decade and a half, not to mention one of the most liquid index ecosystems in the world. Joining me this afternoon, we have Chris Dearborn, Nasdaq's Managing Director, on the Market Intelligence Desk for an update on Nasdaq-100 levels. And Chris, you used to be my favorite person to see when we were at Market Site on Fridays. Now I have you on Monday, so it just reminds me of the start of the week, and certainly a volatile start for the week in the Nasdaq-100, along with the broader market.
Absolutely. We're looking at 3 weeks of declining indices here. This is the first time it's happened since March, and that kind of precedes the COVID. What we're looking at here really is a significant move higher, right? The Nasdaq has moved, the Nasdaq Composite, the Nasdaq-100 have all had significant higher highs than the rest of the broader market, and a pullback is what we've been looking for. We've mentioned in different episodes where you were hitting a relative strength index of 68 to 70, which is an overbought condition. You're making higher highs week over week. And what you've had here over the span of 3 weeks is that corrective nature that we've been looking for. We hit corrective territory twice last week, again today. The index is rebounding nicely here. So if you look at the chart on the relative strength index, we're coming to an oversold condition now in the index. We're hitting about 37, 38. Remember, 30 is oversold, 70 is overbought, and we're trading at about a 38, 39 level now. So we still got a little bit more room to the downside. Whether that happens over the course of 1 or 2 days or a few days, wait to be seen. But expect this index to sell off just a little bit more. Maybe we're within 3 to 5% of this bottoming pattern before it starts to base a little bit and potentially move higher depending on what the news is across the board. Again, you're only coming from the peak high of 12,439 made back on September 2nd. You're not even down 38.2% yet, which is a Fibonacci retracement level. We talk about the Fibonacci's from the way up. Well, on the way down, it works the same way, and that's 10,275. So we're not quite there yet, but it's only about 3 to 5% away. Do we get there? It's uncertain. We did break the 50-day moving average the other day of 11,200, give or take, and now we're trading in between that line. The candle today is starting to go a little bit green. We'll see if that holds into the close, which means that we're trading higher than where the index opened, which is positive. And so you're starting to see a couple of items here. What's interesting, and my colleague Brian pointed it out before, is that value is underperforming growth. Recently, growth, which is the high-tech, large-cap names, the Apples, the Microsofts, the Amazons of the world, have been the leaders for a lot of these indices. And over this 3-week sell-off, they've been leaders on the way down for the most part. And value has been, money's been flowing into. Currently, according to today, and actually a little bit on Friday as well, the value trade's being unwound, and people are going into growth. So that could lead to a couple of legs up here in the near future for not only the large cap tech, but also for the NDX.
Yeah, you know what? That's a really interesting point that you guys made, because that had to have been like the shortest value rotation trade, just like everything else this year has been. Yeah. It's like, it's not unusual in 2020 to see moves to the upper downside 3 to 5% in any given day. And I'll tell you what, the strategists that I speak with expect more of that, certainly for the next 6 to 7 weeks through the elections. So there's going to be some opportunities out there for traders. So with that said, let's take a look at your second chart here and see where that leadership is coming from.
So when you look across the board, you have the leaders today on the left, losers on the right, and it's changed a little bit here. But Apple again is not underperforming, on par. But you've got nice leadership from Zoom, from PayPal, NVIDIA, all doing well. The losers here today are some of the guys who've been leaders, but they're not really losers. They're down 1.5%, 2%. Facebook, Alphabet, Comcast, Amazon's giving back a little bit here. Microsoft is starting to turn around a little bit here, looking to go plus side after they announced a deal acquisition for cash this morning. So what you're looking at is, again, a mixed bag, but nobody really out there leading the way down significantly. No, 5% down, 6% down, which is what we've seen on these big down days. As a matter of fact, the NDX is only off 77 points right now. It opened at 10,677. It's now trading at 10,860. A tremendous turnaround. If this momentum continues positive, Amazon, Facebook, Google alone, and Comcast could turn this whole index around. We could be positive on the other day if we had a little bit more time. I still think 75 points is a little bit hard pressed for today. But again, nothing significant on the losers that would be hard pressed news to continue more down days after today.
Chris, great stuff. Thanks for joining
Thanks,
us on
Jill.
Trade Talks. And thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.